Well, we're now 2 weeks into the 2018 NFL season, and holy crap, it has been an unexpected roller coaster ride so far. Teams completely shit in the bed when we thought they were going to be good. Teams that we thought were going to shit the bed so far off to an incredible start. Hopefully, for both of them and for the teams that are struggling, they can turn around or keep up the momentum and such for the season. As last week I went 9-6-1, which is, oh god, worse than the previous week before. Jesus, can the team stop being unpredictable so we can get the predictions right? For God's sake, it's always impossible to get these teams right at the very beginning. Like, at least for me, for like the first, week 2 and 3 always for me. Oh boy, at least I got 2 winning records to start this season off. And here's the playoff stands at the season today. In the AFC, it'd be the Bengals and Dolphins with the byes, the Ravens at the Chiefs, and the Broncos at the Jaguars. And the NFC is the Buccaneers and Rams with the byes, with the Redskins at the Eagles and the Vikings at the Cowboys. And if the season ended today, I'd say it would be probably the Packers beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But the way the playoffs and such right now, and of course the teams are playing right now, it's so unpredictable, it's kind of difficult to decide on that. So we get things started with Thursday night, which is going to be quite an interesting one despite the two teams being pretty bad, as it's the Jets at the Browns for the third year in a row, as the Browns still trying to get their first win in over a year. Now, of course, it would be nice if the Browns would finally start Baker Mayfield so we could finally have him and Sam Darnold going up against each other. Seeing a first opportunity of what the Browns could have missed if they took Sam instead, but I think they're pretty much still going to stick with Tyrod Taylor right now, which would be quite unfortunate. Both these Jets won both of these games, but I think both of them the last 2 years were really close. I know last year was barely within a touchdown and such, so not a touchdown, a field goal. So it really could go either way between these two, but I think the Browns could finally get the win here. That's, of course, if they can finally stop missing field goals or extra points. And then we get to the Sunday games, starting off with the Bills at the Vikings for the first time since 2010, as the Bills try to avoid 0-3 for the first time since 2010, as they looked a lot better against the Chargers, but they got their asses clocked. And, of course, Vontae Davis retiring during the game. That shows how rock bottom the Bills are right now. They are completely disorganized, and the Vikings, oh, what a comeback they made, only to blow it. Oh man, 3 missed field goals. What a blown opportunity to upset the Packers and show that they are the team to beat in the NFC North right now. But hey, they're still in it right now. Way too early to have a meltdown at this point. At least you hope they won't have a meltdown such. But unless the Bills pull off some kind of upset or the Vikings completely shit the bed, I think it'll easily beat the Vikings. Then it's the Colts at the Eagles for the first time since 2010. And good news, Carson Wentz will finally start, so hopefully he'll be okay playing such. This will be the first time since December. Hopefully his legs won't destroy him again, and hopefully he won't go the way of like RG3 and such. And of course the Eagles, oh my goodness. Offense was pretty bad, but geez, defense. Because I saw the Eagles at Buccaneers. How the hell did you let Deshaun get that score? And not only that, or Mike Evans, whoever it was, not only do you allow it, for crying out loud, they didn't even try and tackle him. They just get that 75-yard score just like that. Wasn't even trying. Of course, if they actually tackle him and such, who knows? Maybe the Buccaneers wouldn't have gotten a touchdown all that drive, and the Eagles could have possibly won it right there. So, blown opportunity for them. And the Colts, good job spanking the Redskins on the road and such. Of course, you got to challenge a tough team right here. But believe it or not, I think it could go either way between these two teams. The Colts have been consistent. Now, of course, if they didn't blow it against the Bengals, they could have been 2-0 right now. And then the Eagles, they look kind of weak right now. They're going to have to, hopefully with Carson Wentz coming back, maybe they can finally get something going. I still think the Eagles can get it, but you got to watch out for the Colts. Then it's the Packers at the Redskins for the first time since 2016. As the Packers, thank God you are so lucky that the Vikings kicker kept missing all the field goals and extra point stuff. Same goes for your kicker missing a field goal in overtime and such. See, at least you got a tie instead of a loss and such. And the Redskins, well, I called it. Your performance against the Cardinals was solely because the Cardinals were just a terrible team. And then when you played a much better team on the Colts, you shat the bed and such. And although you did beat the Packers last time you played them. I don't think that's going to be the case this time around, as I think the Packers will get it. Then it's the 49ers at the Chiefs for the first time since 2010, as the Chiefs are trying to go 3-0 for the third year in a row. The 49ers looked okay now, 1-1. They held on to stop a comeback against the Lions, and the Chiefs, oh my goodness, Patrick Mahomes, so far he has completely disproven all my concerns about him this year so far. I think he's the league leader in touchdowns too, like 10 of them with just one interception or something like that. Jesus Christ, the Chiefs have an offensive juggernaut right now. Good thing too, because their defense is crap, and they need to fix that too. And I think the Chiefs can get this one pretty easily. Then it's the Raiders at the Dolphins for the second year in a row, as the Raiders try and avoid 0-3 for the first time since 2014. The Dolphins are trying to get 3-0 for the first time since 2013. And wow, kind of a surprise. Although I did predict, I think, the Raiders to start 0-2, and oh man, what a blown opportunity for the Raiders. Derek Carr, after having such a terrible game against the Rams, had probably one of his best games of his career. He had almost a 90% completion percentage. They had to leave her out until the last second because they just could not stop the Broncos one more time. Bet you wish you had Khalil Mack then. Meanwhile, the Dolphins, yeah, you're 2-0, but I mean, look who you were playing against. The Titans and the Jets. Not really the best teams to beat. And of course, even if you beat the Raiders right here 3-0, it's still not really that impressive. This could go either way, but I think the Dolphins actually might get this one. Then we get to a big AFC South showdown, as the Titans are at the Jaguars. Whoever wins this game will have the #1 seed in the AFC South, as the Jaguars trying to go 3-0 for the first time. Jeez, I don't even know when. Last time I know they went 3-0 was 1998, but I'm sure it was sooner than that. And the Jaguars, I told everyone they were going to put the Patriots into place, and boy, did they. What a dominant performance that was. Told you never to underestimate them, especially after the AFC Championship game last year. And the Titans, yeah, they got a win against the Texans, but Marcus Mariota I don't think played at all whatsoever, so I mean, you swept the Jaguars, and matter of fact, you destroyed them too when you visited them, but you better hope Marcus Mariota is going to play and such, or you're going to be kind of in trouble. And if he's definitely not going to play, which I have no idea, I definitely will say Jaguars will get this. Then another big AFC showdown, as the Broncos are at the Ravens for the first time since 2012, as the Broncos try to go 3-0 for the first time since 2016. As the Broncos, they're offensively, they've been kind of bad still, but hey, they're still in there at 2-0, right back where they were last year and such. And the Ravens, yep, the Ravens got put completely back in their place after that thrashing they gave the Bills 2 weeks ago and such. This game could easily go either way, but it's really going to come down to the deep offense. Who do you trust more? Especially between Joe Flacco and Case Keenum. I most certainly trust Flacco more than Case Keenum. At least Flacco had at least a good game this year. Case Keenum, oh my God, I think he's thrown almost as many interceptions as touchdowns, for God's sake. Even Flacco, I don't think it's that close, so I think the Ravens can get this, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos somehow pulled it off. Then we get to a huge NFC South showdown, as the Saints are at the Falcons, as this is a big game for both of them. One of these teams needs to get to 2-1. Well, actually, both of them need to get this one and try and get to 2-1. Falcons, this would be pretty big for them, too, if they win here. That way they'll have beaten 2 of their NFC South brethren already to start the year off. And, of course, pretty good win against the Panthers and the Saints. Yeah, you beat the Browns, but you almost lost to them, for crying out loud. You got really lucky right there. You're definitely not off to a good start this year. So you got a lot of concerns to deal with, and with that, I think the Falcons can get this one. And then we get to probably the really interesting outer conference showdown, as the Bengals are at the Panthers for the first time since 2010. Funny enough, that was week 3 as well, as the Bengals are trying to go 3-0 for the first time since 2015. The Bengals, who would have thought they would be one of the 7 undefeated teams remaining? Well, of course, I mean, they got kind of lucky with the Colts collapsing like that. But now, here we go, a real big challenge. I predicted pretty well you were going to beat the Ravens, although I did predict that you would lose to them. You have good history against the Ravens. You got lucky with the Colts stuff. Now you got to play a really good team on the road now. And, of course, the Panthers, they actually put up a lot better fight against the Falcons than I thought, but in the end, they still couldn't pull it off. This game is crucial for both of them. Panthers need to win here to keep up with in the NFC South. The Bengals need to win to show that they're not a team to underestimate for the season, especially when Vontaze Burfict's dumbass comes back after next week and such. So I think the Panthers will get it. But hey, we already saw the Bengals so far. Can't underestimate them, so wouldn't be surprised if they actually pull it off either. Then it's the Giants at the Texans for the first time since 2010, as the Giants are trying to avoid 0-3 for the second year in a row. Meanwhile, the Texans are trying to avoid 0-3 for the first time since 2008. As the Giants, oh my goodness, what a change a week was. 2 weeks ago against the Jaguars, they looked pretty good, just couldn't pull it off. Oh my God, next week on Sunday night, Eli got his ass kicked. He hadn't have any chance whatsoever to get anything going pretty much in that game. And the Texans, I would be concerned. Bill O'Brien, 0-2. Definitely not a good start. And Deshaun Watson's been kind of lacking so far this season so far. So this game could go either way, but I probably would say the Texans, but I won't be surprised if the Giants get it. And then we get to our 4 p.m. games. Start off with the Chargers at the Rams for the first time since 2010. And for the first time since, I believe, 1994, we are finally getting our all Los Angeles showdown. First time I'll ever get to see this, too. As the Chargers got their win against the Bills, back at 1-1. The Rams, dominant victory against the Cardinals, although that's not surprising. They shut them out. 2-0 and looking like one of the better teams in the NFC right now, and with the Eagles struggling right now, along with the Saints and the Packers and Vikings splitting it between the two. Rams are putting themselves in good contention right now to possibly be like the #1 team in the NFC. This could, oh boy, I probably would say the Rams, because they're definitely going to be in a more like home field advantage of the two, since no one gives a shit about the Chargers in LA, even though no one gives a shit about the Rams. People care more about them. And of course, the Chargers haven't been playing as good as I thought they would, even though they're 1-1. The Rams have kind of exceeded expectations so far for me, even though whoop they freaking do. You beat the Rams and Raiders and Cardinals. Not much competition to beat right there, but I think the Rams could get it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers somehow got to. Then it's the Cowboys at the Seahawks for the first time since 2015. 14, I believe it was, as the Seahawks trying to avoid 0-3 for the first time since, I actually don't even know when they last went 0-3. Maybe 2002, because I know they started off really bad that year. Cowboys, much different team, just like the Giants. They struggled the beginning of the year against the Panthers, and then they dominated defensively against the Giants and such. Seahawks, that offensive line is so terrible that Russell Wilson hasn't gotten a single break whatsoever. And of course, it's going to be very difficult when you once again have to go up against, looks like a better defensive team this week. And of course, although maybe the Seahawks can get lucky, seeing how their defense fucking picked off Mitchell Trubisky so many times last week, maybe they can do that with Dak and maybe turn it around and put in their favor and such. This game could go either way, but I think the Seahawks could probably pull it off still in the end. Then it's the Bears at the Cardinals for the first time since 2012, as the Cardinals try to avoid 0-3 for the first time since, shit, I don't even know when the last time they went 0-3, for God's sake. That's how long it's been. Anyways, the Bears, dominant, impressive performance against the Seahawks on Monday night. And, of course, the Cardinals, so far, they're exceeding my expectations of being the worst team in the NFC and probably one of the worst teams in the league, and it's not even close. I mean, do I have to really make this a case for this, for the Cardinals? It's going to be the Bears, unless the Bears shit the bed somehow like they did against the Packers. Then we get to Sunday night, and a game I still do not know idea why they picked this, but hey, at least it's not Thanksgiving once again, as it's the Patriots at the Lions for the first time since 2010, as the Lions try to avoid 0-3 for the first time since 2015. And the Patriots, they got their ass kicked against the Jaguars, which I was completely not surprised by. I expected it. And the Lions, after that terrible performance against the Jets, actually, after struggling against the 49ers to start off, they almost made the comeback too. Matthew Stafford was a night and day comparison how he played. Holy shit, he looked much more like his usual self that yet last week compared against the Jets and stuff. But Are we really seriously going to debate this? It's going to be the Patriots. It's not even close. Then we get to Monday night, and a pretty interesting one, despite what I thought earlier about the game not being a good idea, as it's the Steelers at the Buccaneers for the first time since 2010, as the Buccaneers try to go 3-0 for the first time since 2005. There we go, 2005. Last time they went 3-0. Steelers still trying to get their first win of the season, and oh boy, the Steelers are in meltdown mode. They are falling apart. They better turn it around, or they're going to be in deep, deep, deep trouble, especially with the Browns. If they can just get a win, they'd probably put themselves in better contention. They should honestly be 2-0 right now. The Bengals somehow 2-0. The Ravens, you can't underestimate them stuff. So Steelers, they're in a lot of trouble right now. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers, oh boy, I actually did a video on what should the Buccaneers do once this game's over when it comes to like Ryan Fitzpatrick and Jameis Winston stuff. They're going to have to really decide what they're going to do, especially if they win this one and Jameis Winston, I'm not Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick puts up a dominant performance. They're going to be in a real shitty bind right there, and I'm not kidding. They're going to be in a really tough pickle at that spot. But, I probably shouldn't do this because I know the Buccaneers, yeah, they spanked everyone so far, but you can't like give them full amount of trust and such, especially considering their history against the Steelers and such. But I think I'm going to take the risk and say the Buccaneers will get it. So those are my picks for week 3. I can't wait for Jets at Browns tonight, and hopefully the Browns will be smart and play Baker Mayfield instead. And I can't wait for all the rest of the games, and hopefully week 3 I can finally have a very dominant record when it comes to predictions instead of being all over the place. So see you guys then.